Hi, this is the Old Topographer, and today we're going to take a look at the new ArcGIS Pro desktop application from ESRI. Before we start the demonstration, I need to let you know about the the hardware that this desktop application is running on. So this is my home computer. It's a Dell Inspiron running i5 quad core processors, and it's got 8 gigabytes of memory and a 2 gigabyte NVIDIA Quadro graphics card. Now, based on my experience with this box and the workstation I have at work, I have to say that I think what I'm running it on right now is probably a minimum hardware configuration for the new ArcGIS Pro software. The software is fully 64-bit. It is a resource intensive application, particularly when you're doing 3D tasks. So just a word of warning, you're not going to be able to run this on your old Pentium 4 desktop running Windows XP. You're going to have to do a hardware upgrade, particularly in the graphics arena, to even just run this software. Okay, so to begin, ArcGIS Pro makes use of a new ribbon interface, and I know the ribbon layouts have been around for a while. Microsoft, released them several years ago, and this is really Esri's first foray into the ribbon interface arena, and they did a really good job. Everything is context sensitive, so depending on the task that you're doing, you're only going to be presented with those menu items. So, for example, if you're not editing data, you're not going to have access to the edit toolbar. If you're not doing geoprocessing tasks, you're not going to have access to the geoprocessing toolbar. This is a paradigm shift from the old Esri desktop software where you got all the toolbars all the time. And if you wanted to turn any of them on or off, you had to go into your configuration pull down and manually click them on or off. This is context sensitive, and Esri actually did a very good job with this. I'm fairly impressed. The other good thing is, if you're experienced with Esri's desktop software, you'll see a lot of the same icons. They're very crisply and neatly rendered, but pretty much you're seeing the same stuff you've seen for the last several years in the ArcGIS 9 and 10 interfaces. So they've managed to keep that, and that helps cut down on the learning curve. You can usually find what you're looking for just by a few mouse clicks down through the ribbon interfaces. Everything you expect to see is there, with a few exceptions. For example, you won't see a button or an icon click for catalog. So we'll talk more about that in the blog post. Well, as I said, ArcGIS Pro is a 3D application. It lives in the 3D world in that everything that you add to a map or to a project is actually processed in a 3D mode. Let's take, for example, airfield structures. So, zoom down on the map here. So these buildings at this airport, and this is Falcon Field in Peachtree City, Georgia. So again, all of these buildings started life as two-dimensional building footprints. And I originally digitized them in ArcGIS 10.2. When I brought the data layer into the ArcGIS Pro environment, I said, I want to 3D enable this data. So when it was added, it was originally added to the 2D layers layer group, and I just grabbed it and moved it up into the 3D layers. And by doing that, it turned on a new ribbon in the command structure called appearance. I was then able to go in and in ArcGIS Pro tell the application what field in the geodatabase table that I wanted it to use to calculate building heights. And then I selected the type of extrusion or the model that the software uses to actually stand the buildings up. It was that easy. Immediately the data went from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions. Now, these are very simplistic 3D models. I will admit that. They're just simple polygons. But what this demonstrates is the ease with which you can quickly and easily 3D enable a lot of the two-dimensional data that you currently have in your data sets. The other thing that ArcGIS Pro adds is the concept of managing by project. And if you look over here on the right hand side, you'll see the project interface. Each project consists of information about the map files, the toolboxes, the databases, the geoprocessing history, the styles that you're using, and the folders that are associated with everything that you have in this project, where your map files are stored, where your data is stored, where your layer files are stored. This is a new paradigm for Esri. You know, the old MXD days seem to be on the way out with ArcGIS Pro, and I think they did a really good job with this. One of the great things about the project concept is that you can share the project across your work group or across other GIS analysts or workers in your organization, and it allows you to keep a tight hold on geoprocessing tasks and styles, data locations, and basically, you kind of, you know, keep a corral around all those GIS cowboys that are out there that want to do their own thing while working on a project for you. So I think that's a great paradigm. The last thing I want to show you is navigation within the interface. And those of you who are experienced ArcGIS desktop users know that we had or still have the old pan and zoom tools that were separate icons on the toolbar. Well, Esri's brought all that into a single icon called Explore, and if you just hover over it, there's a drop down that shows you what each of the mouse clicks does. So this is your new navigation interface for everything you want to do in ArcGIS Pro. So if I put the icon, let's say I'll put it on the center of this round area here, which is actually a windsock location, and left click and just pull up and down, it just pulls you top to bottom across the scene. If I press and hold on the center mouse wheel, it brings up the 3D rotate tool. And if I press and hold the right mouse button, it's a fast zoom in and out of the scene. While navigation works well with a mouse, I'm kind of curious as to how well it'll work with a trackball. I can't help but think that there might be some smoother navigation that comes through the use of a trackball, and I may give that a try here in the next week or so. Okay, well that's it. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. I hope you learned a little bit about ArcGIS Pro, and if you're an ArcGIS user, you might want to just go out and download this software if your licensing allows it, and give it a try. I think it's a great product, and I'm really looking forward to learning more about it. Thanks, and have a great day.